Hey guys, welcome back. Back to another day here. Trying to show you guys some more exercises that we can do throughout. And again, I hope you guys have been enjoying my videos here. They're very instructional to just kind of help you to guide you through certain areas of your body that you might not necessarily understand. Okay, and also to obviously build some strength, build some definition, and also work on certain aspects of your physical capabilities as well, like strength, resistance, balance. Okay, I'm incorporating certain techniques as well in the mix. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've got this question a couple times and I kind of want to just kind of talk a little bit about it, and then I'm going to go straight into a workout for you guys that I think is going to be great for you guys to get started. And you can also do this in your own home, remembering. Obviously now it's very challenging to be outdoors, so a lot of these exercises that I'm showing you on a given day is with minimal resistance. Okay, in this case also in terms of dumbbells or certain types of equipment, not a lot involved there also. Okay, so our topic today is going to be a full body resistance workout, okay, with very little equipment, very light equipment, and also it's going to require basically no stabilization or core strength whatsoever. For those of you who are starting off, I know it's very challenging for you to get into the gym and start building a lot of strength, building a lot of muscle, okay, working on certain specific aspects of your body without understanding exactly why it's not really functioning properly. Okay, so you have to understand that before you can start off by building initial strength, you have to work in building your overall stabilization of your core and your deep muscles in your upper and lower body as well. Okay, so that's the most important factor. Right after you do that, it's important to understand that your body has something called biological individuality. So it works in a certain way depending on your body type. You have to really understand that there's certain things that your body might not necessarily do at first. So you have to challenge yourself in a certain way. Okay, in this case, for example, those of you who are endomorph body types, endomorph meaning that you're a little bit on the heavier side, it's important for you to focus more cardio and nutrition than actually going into the strength training. Okay, for those of you like myself who are ectomorph body types, okay, you have that lean muscle mass. It's important for you to eat consistently throughout the day, not necessarily large portions, but small meals that will allow you to build muscle. And when you go to the gym, you have to be able to use that proper optimum training model. Okay, so as I mentioned before, phase one is basically stabilization endurance, which is building that initial inner core, upper body, lower body. All those deep muscle fibers need to be strengthened in such a way that it can give you stability throughout your next phases in the optimum training model. Okay, so today basically I just wanted to kind of explain to you a little bit about how it works. It's so important to build your body through that model, kind of like building a house. You have to build it from the ground up. Okay, it's the same thing with the human body. So if you don't do that, there is a much higher chance down the line for you to get into some kind of injury. So that's why it's so important to get into that. Okay, so with that said, I just wanted to kind of go into a little workout today. For those of you who are starting off, as I mentioned, this workout that I'm going to show you guys today is very easy to do. Okay, it requires very little equipment. We're going to start off with some light weights and kind of work our way up. And I'm going to show you certain exercises that you can do to start off with that I think are beneficial without getting into a lot of those very complex exercises that require a lot of different movements, a lot of stabilization. There's no need for that today. It's going to be very basic. But again, it's a workout that will get you started to really build that initial strength, and then you can progress from there. Okay, so let's get straight into it. The first one we're going to do, obviously, it's so important, is to stretch. So we're going to get into a little stretch routine. We're just going to come in and just stretch out the shoulders. So I want you guys to follow me along. Okay, remember that these exercises, again, are very straightforward to do. Okay, it's a beginner workout. We're going to start off basically by doing upper, a little bit of legs, a little bit of arms, a little bit of shoulders, working the full body. Okay, and they're going to be exercises that are very basic for you to get started with. Okay, so this is not an intermediate or advanced workout. It's not for anybody who is in that level. This is for beginners, for people who are starting off, just kind of working on building that initial strength, okay, and understanding how their bodies work. Okay, kind of rotate the shoulders back and forth. Beautiful. Get those shoulders nice and loose. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to come over here like this. Stretch out. Bring that shoulder back. Same thing, other side. Bring that shoulder back. Good. All right, just loosen up the legs a little bit. So you're just going to come in and bend your quads. Okay, so again, just Nice little knee flexion here. Really feel that quad stretch. Just hold that position for about 10 seconds there. I just breathe normally. Good. Switch sides, do the same thing on the other side. So it's so important to stretch. You got to make sure to loosen up those muscles before you get started. Okay, that's the most important thing when you first start, working into muscle contraction, is to get those muscles nice and loosened up and ready to go. Okay, so we're going to come down. We're going to bend down and try and touch our hands as far down as you can. Get that wide stretch in the legs to really stretch out those hamstrings and those glutes. Get that nice loosened position right there. And slowly work your way back up. Okay, now we're going to just work our way to the side a little bit to stretch out a little bit of that groin muscle. Get right in the inner part of your thigh. Get a nice stretch there. Bend the knee to one side and keep the other leg completely extended. I'll just show you here a little bit. Nice position right there. Good. And we'll stretch out the other side. Same thing. Beautiful job. Good. Okay, so another thing we're going to do is we're going to do some just stretches in the bottom here. I'm going to show you a little glute stretch I think is very beneficial as well. And again, this might challenge you a little bit if you don't have a lot of flexibility, not a problem whatsoever. You want to regress it by just keeping the leg as best you can on the over the knee here. And we're just going to bring the leg back. Okay, do the best you can to do this. Again, the further back you go, the heavier the stretch of the glutes. Going to hold that position right there. Good. And release. So same thing on the other side. You're going to switch over. Keep it right a little bit below the knee. Keep it on the muscle. And push your leg back and really feel that stretch in those glutes. Going to hold that position as best you can. And release. Okay, so one more. We're just going to do a little butterfly stretch here. Okay, make sure to really get that stretch right inside. So you want to bring your heels together. Okay, you want to push your heels as far back as you can and bring your chest forward. Really feel that stretch in those groin muscles right there. You want to hold that position. Same thing for about 10 seconds. Nicely done. Just make sure to control your breathing. Just breathe normally. Okay, and we've got one last one. We're just going to come in here, come down, rotate to the side. You want to cross the knee, the left knee over the right, cross it over. You just want to rotate to one side to really feel that last stretch in the glutes there in the IT band, coming all the way up. Good. Other side, same thing. Beautiful. Alrighty. Okay, guys, so today our focus is basically going to be working the whole entire body, using certain exercises that are great for beginners. Just for those of you who are starting off, this workout is for you. I'm going to show you specific exercises that will allow you to really build initial strength without having to use a lot of that core and stabilizers, which unfortunately when you start off you don't really have until you start building that more and more. But it's a great way to use those exercises to build that as you go on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the chest. Okay, so with the chest, remember this routine right here, we're going to be doing 2 sets, 12 reps, and we're going to rest anywhere between 45 to a minute. That's what I recommend when you first start. Give yourself plenty of time to recover, about a 45 seconds to a minute rest, and then we'll go back into set number 2. Okay, so again, in terms of the weight factor, if you have weights at home, guys, what I recommend is starting out from maybe like 5 pounds. Okay, for those of you who are just beginning, 5 pounds is pretty good. If not, you can build your way up even 10 or 15. I'm going to use 15 pounds just because I've been, obviously a little bit on the heavier side here. So I'm going to use 15 pounds to do the chest press. So we're just going to come into a chest press. It's the easiest exercise to do for the chest. Okay, it doesn't require a lot of stability. You're going to keep your feet down to the ground. Okay, make sure to keep your head up. Okay, and you want to come down, bring those dumbbells all the way down to close to the point where you're hitting the ground. Come straight back up. Okay, make sure to get a nice consistent pace, about 2-3 seconds on the way up, 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. Okay, no need for variables on this one. Just keep a consistent pace going with the dumbbells. Okay, nice and easy. Make sure to control your breathing. Really exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Okay, we got a couple more. Last one. Beautiful. So you want to roll over. Make sure to bring the dumbbells down to the ground. Okay. Now with the dumbbells, make sure that when you do them, after you come down, you want to come down and kind of drop into the ground like this. It's probably the best way to do it. Okay. So we're going to rest for about 45 seconds. And we're going to do set number 2. So again, that exercise is wonderful for the chest, guys. Very, very easy exercise to do. Coming down, really exhaling and inhaling the whole time. Bending your elbows down to the point where you're almost hitting the ground. You want to come down up to a full extension, okay? Again, no variables needed, so just focus on consistency, on the proper tempo, and make sure to get that full range of motion on the way up and the way down. Okay, so to really build that strength, initial strength in your chest, working your front part of your shoulders, and also you're working your triceps back here as well. Okay, let's get into set number 2. So same thing, same position. Make sure you really control your breathing as best you can. So you're going to come down 2 to 3 seconds on the way up, 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. Almost there, guys. Keep controlling it. All right, so I got a couple more reps, a nice consistent pace. Last one. Beautiful. So make sure you bring your weights down to the ground, to the side of you. You want to roll to the side. And there we go. So that was our first exercise of this workout. Okay, again, the dumbbell chest press is a wonderful exercise to do to really initiate and really target those chest muscles, working on the shoulders and also the triceps. Okay, now we're going to work our way over to a little back exercise here. So for the back exercises, for those of you who are starting off, there's a lot of back exercises that are pretty sufficient. So when you're in the gym, for example, things like rows or pull downs is what I recommend. But unfortunately, we don't have that equipment available. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you an exercise that requires just dumbbell work. Pretty straightforward to do. Okay, and it'll give you a great little workout here. Just really strengthen your back muscles as best you can. Okay, so we're going to come over here. Okay, what we're going to do here is basically just a little single arm row. Now what you need to do is maybe just grab yourself in a position. You want to keep your base right here with the left hand on the sofa here. You want to come up and down consistently. Okay, so this one right here doesn't require a lot of stability, a lot of usage from your core or even your stabilizers. It's pretty straightforward. You just need like a chair or some kind of rest so you can keep your hand here placed, and then you're just going to come up with a dumbbell. So I'm going to show you the left side first. You want to make sure to give yourself a little bit of a separation with the legs. Come straight back up like this. Okay? Start off with a full arm extension. You want to come up to a dumbbell flexion all the way up. 3. Make sure to control that breathing. 4. 5. Now here, do the best you can to keep your back straight. If it's curved a little bit, it's not a problem, guys. With time, you'll see that when you start strengthening your back muscles, your posture will become a lot better. Okay, you'll be able to gain a lot more control in that region. Beautiful. So now we're going to switch sides. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. So make sure to keep your left hand on the bench here, or the whatever support system you have. You want to come up and do the same thing. So 1, nice control. You don't want to rotate too much to the side. You just want to keep your back straight and come up, just using your arms. Really contract those large lat muscles in your back. Really control that breathing. Nice and easy. Okay, so we got a couple more. Beautiful job. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to rest for about 45 seconds again, and then we're going to get it to straight after that set number 2. So again, really, really easy exercise to do to start off with. Okay, it doesn't require a lot of your core to work in. But again, you got to be careful with the angle that you're using. What I recommend is when you first start, give yourself in an incline position. The lower down you go, the more challenging it becomes. You have to use a lot more of your core strength. So you got to make sure to keep yourself elevated a little bit higher when you first start. Okay? Okay, so make sure you get a quick drink of water. So we're going to go into straight set number 2 in about 15 seconds. So same position, okay? Alrighty, just breathe normally. Remember, you got to be able to get yourself into a front-back stance just to give yourself that support, especially from the back leg. Keep your right hand on the support system here, whatever bench or chair you have, and then you're going to come up and do the same thing. So grab your dumbbells, come straight into set number 2. Go for it. 1, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, nice and easy control. 5, 6, 7, nice job. 8, 9, 10, so we got a couple more. 11, last one. And 12, beautiful. So now we're going to switch sides, do the same thing on the right side. Okay, so again, 2 sets of 12 is sufficient, is what I recommend. Okay, when you're starting off, you don't want to go too heavy with the rep range, and the set should be anywhere between 1 to 2 sets when you start. You don't want to overwork it to the point where you're overtraining. Okay, so naturally when you're a beginner, you have to make sure that your volume of training is minimal, but that your workout is beneficial. Okay, with the proper exercises, proper techniques, proper sets and reps as well, and a proper rest time. Okay, let's get into the second part. Same thing, back straight, come straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, nice controlled pace. Okay, about 2-3 seconds on the way up, 2-3 seconds on the way down. Okay, 3 more. Last 2. Nice job, guys. Ready? All right, so that was called a single arm row. So again, that exercise right there is very, very good for targeting those large back muscles, the lats right here. Obviously, you're working a little bit of the lower back as well, and also challenging a little bit of your lower traps. But again, it's a very, very efficient, not only for postural sense, but also for strengthening of those initial muscles that you want to try to build as you go on. Okay? All right, so next one we're going to do, we're going to switch over now to the lower body. Now, for the lower body, what I recommend we do is, since we don't have any machines here available, the best exercises, in my opinion, to do are squats and any kind of calf weight exercise as well, if you have that available. I'm going to show you an exercise with a stability ball that I think is very beneficial. Okay, squats when you first start can be a little bit challenging. For those of you who are beginners, it's very hard for you to actually use these kind of muscles since obviously you don't have that available for you as of right now. But as you start building more and more strength, you'll see that your squats will become a lot more effective. But the best way to start is by grabbing a stability ball like this one. I'm going to show you a little squat technique that I think is very beneficial. Okay, now this one right here, when you first start, I don't recommend using any dumbbells. Okay, just a body weight resistance. Okay, basically the resistance coming from your own body weight is sufficient when you start. Okay, it doesn't require any weight whatsoever. So I'm going to do 12 reps here just to show you. So again, get yourself in a nice little position right here. You're going to come down. You want to make sure to bend those hips and then come up and extend. Okay, so again, if you're the person who's starting off doing squats, I don't recommend you doing 90 degrees. Come out to about a half squat position, okay, about here, and then come straight back up. Again, you're trying to build initial strength, so you don't want to go too heavy. Okay, and then you're going to come straight back up. Okay, so come down to the middle, nice and easy, and work your way up. You got to make sure to really soften those knees as best you can. And remember, the main area of contraction, the main joint being used is the hip joint. The knees basically come in to work together. Okay, so you got one more. Get about halfway point, and then come back up. There you go. Okay, so we're going to rest for a little bit. So again, it's a wonderful exercise to do. Okay, when you're doing the squats, remember that the weight factor becomes really relevant. Okay, and also the rest time as well. Squats can be challenging because there's a lot of muscles involved. It's a compound exercise. It targets the quads, glute strings, hamstrings, and glutes, and also works your adductor muscles as well. It's a lot of muscles there, so you got to be careful. Okay, so we're going to go into set number 2 now. And I'm going to show you with dumbbells just to see the difference, okay, when you're doing the squats with a stability ball. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is grabbing a couple 5-pound weights like this, okay, just to give you that extra resistance. Okay, if you want to go challenge yourself a little bit more, I definitely recommend you doing this one. Okay, so the same format here, but now what we're doing is we're grabbing a couple dumbbells just to give you that added resistance. Okay, so same position, you want to come down, and then come back up. So only halfway point, guys, remember. Okay, you're going to use those 5-pound dumbbells to give you that extra weight. Okay, to really build a little bit more tension on those quads, those hamstrings, and those glutes. Nice and easy on the way down, and then come back up. Okay? So you can really feel a significant difference when you start adding 5 pounds on there. Okay, in relation to obviously just regular body weight resistance, that extra dumbbell weight really makes it a little bit more of a challenge. Okay, but you're more than welcome to do so if you're feeling good. Feel free to incorporate that as well. Get a couple more. Okay, last one. And rest. Nicely done. All right, so that was a body weight squat there, guys. Okay, that exercise right there again is very, very efficient to start off with. Please feel free to use a stability ball if you have it. If you're the kind of person who wants to challenge yourself a little bit more, wants to do this as a free weight squat, you're more than welcome to. But remembering that when you start off, posture is so important. Core stability is so important as well. If you feel like you're rounding your back too much or you're coming too far forward, chances are that you need the ball to start off with because you got to give yourself a little bit more stability. Okay, let's go work into our next one. So now this one right here, pretty straightforward to do. All this requires, guys, is a couple calf weights. So I have these calf weights right here. They're about 5 pounds each. So we're going to be placing them basically right on my calves. Okay, right on my ankle complex here, just to use a little bit added weight. Okay, now this right here is a wonderful little exercise to do as well. Again, very easy. Doesn't require a lot of movement, and doesn't require a lot of stability and a lot of strength in your lower complex. It's very straightforward to do. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys how to incorporate this. So this one right here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a little knee flexion. So I like to basically just hold on to something like a base like this. You want to make sure that when you're doing this, you want to keep your knee level with the other one. And all you're doing, just bringing a little knee flexion. Okay. Bring your leg back, bending your knee. And you can really feel that tension build up in the hamstrings. So we're trying to focus specifically on those hamstrings now. This is strengthening the back part of the leg. Again, this muscle group becomes very important as well, especially for knee stability and knee strength. Okay, not only just the quads, but the hamstrings come into play as well. It's important to do some exercises for this. So this is a great one, the knee flexion with calf weights. A couple more. This one you could probably go up to 15 reps if you want to. I'm only doing 12, but you're more than welcome to do anywhere between 12 and 15. Straight side, switch sides again. Nice and easy. Just kind of work your way up and work your way down. It's a very easy exercise to do, but again, it's very, very beneficial to really strengthen those hamstrings. There we go. Nicely done. And rest. All right, so we're just going to rest for a little bit. Okay, give yourselves, again, another 40-second rest, about 40-45 seconds on that one. Again, not a lot of weight involved in that one either, so anywhere between 2 to 5 pounds is what I recommend. Okay, there's a lot of calf weights nowadays that you can incorporate into your home, and again, they're not very heavy to do, but if you consistently do them throughout, you'll see significant change. Okay, and these workouts are wonderful for that reason. You can actually do them in your own home. So continuously do them. You'll see how with time you start initially working those muscles pretty consistently and building that strength as you go on. Okay, let's do set number 2. So same thing. Again, you want to support yourself. A little base support here. You're going to come up. Okay, try to keep that knee level with the other one. See if I got really parallel to the other leg. Okay, so you can actually get that nice stability as best you can. Okay, try not to shift your weight forward or back. It's just the knee working back and front. Nice controlled pace. Really feel that tension start building up right here. Okay, keep going. So we've got a couple more. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to switch sides, do the same thing on the other side. Again, same thing, trying to focus on keeping that leg parallel to the other one. You want to come up, let's really work that knee. Nice and easy control. So again, these are specific exercises, guys, okay? They're very easy beginner exercises, okay? If you're, like I said, you want to start off, you want to start building that strength, you got to make sure that your muscles can handle it. So these exercises don't require a lot of pressure, a lot of tension buildup. It's just very, very simple to do, and it can be very beneficial if you consistently do it. And rest. Alrighty. Alright, so that was our little knee flexion exercise. So again, we targeted the whole entire backside as well when you do the hamstrings there. So we targeted the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings, so that's a pretty full workout. Okay, we're going to shift our weight over now to shoulders and arms. I'm going to show you guys now some exercises you can do for that as well. Okay, so for the shoulders, what I recommend is starting off with the basics. Okay, so a couple of 5-pound weights like this, or again, if you want to start off a little bit lighter, feel free. Okay, anywhere between 2 to 5 pounds is pretty good for this exercise. Guys, remembering that the shoulder complex is a smaller muscle group. It's not as large as the chest or the quads or the hamstrings. You have to make sure that the weight factor is minimal, especially when you start. Okay, so I got a couple 5-pound weights here. We're going to do a pretty simple shoulder exercise that targets the front and medial part of your shoulders. Okay, we're going to come to the side. And then you're going to use a neutral grip and come forward. Again, we're going to try and do anywhere between 10 to 12 reps of these. So what I recommend is starting off with 10 to 12. And then you can work your way up with the rep range as you get stronger. 3. Nice and easy, consistent pace. Okay, try to keep yourself as stable as possible. Okay, all you're doing is just coming side and coming forward. And again, wonderful exercise to start off with to really build that initial strength in your shoulder complex. Okay, so we got 3 more. A couple more, guys. Last one. And rest. Nicely done. Okay, so like I said, that one right there, very, very easy to do. Okay, so we're going to rest for about 40-45 seconds. We'll get into set number 2. Okay, just breathe. Make sure to grab a little bit of water if you feel you need to. Okay, make sure to keep hydrating. It's very important to do so as well. Okay, so right after this, we're going to do a couple more exercises to finish up. One of them for the biceps and the other one for the triceps. Okay, let's get into set number 2. So same thing. Remember, you want to keep yourself straight, vertical position. Keep your arms to the side, and you want to come straight out, come down, straight forward. Neutral grip's a little bit easier for the shoulders when you do a neutral grip than when you're doing a pronated. Try to keep your grip neutral. 2. Nice and controlled pace. Beautiful job. Just merely control your breathing as best you can. Try to keep your body engaged, especially your core as best you can. Nice and easy. Okay, so we got one more, guys. Last one to finish up. And rest. Nicely done. So you can really feel after a while that tension build up in the shoulders. Okay, you start feeling it from here all the way down here, even to the medial side. Again, very, very basic to do, but it's a great one to start off with if you're the kind of person who's beginning to work their bodies and build that overall strength, okay? Initial strength. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch it over now and do some biceps. So for the biceps, guys, again, biceps are a smaller muscle group, okay? This whole length from the shoulder all the way down to the epicondylar region, the elbow. Okay, this whole area right here is what is known as the biceps brachii and brachialis, even going into the brachyradialis. So you got to be careful. There's a lot of muscle here, but it's very thin muscle. Okay, so we're going to start off by doing just 5 pounds. I'm just going to show you a set of 12. Okay, just to get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep one arm down, keep your elbows locked into your rib cage. It's the best way to really build that initial strength and definition is by not going forward or back too much. You want to keep your elbows locked in. So we're going to alternate, okay? All right, so keep your elbows locked in. I like to do a little wrist rotation too, just to add a little bit more of effect to the forearms when you're doing it. Okay, so the forearms come into play when you do a little rotation as well. Okay, so nice and easy, just 5-pound weights or anything, anywhere between 5 to 10 pounds is sufficient when you first start. You don't want to go too heavy, but just enough that you can really feel that tension building in those biceps. Okay? Just alternate back and forth, nice consistent pace. Okay, so we got a couple more. So anywhere between 10 to 12 is what I recommend. Last one. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to take a breather. It's going to rest for about 40-45 seconds, and then we'll get into set number 2. Okay, so again, equipment is minimal today. We're not trying to build a lot of weight here. We're not trying to use a lot of variables, a lot of specific type of exercises here to really build initial strength. You don't want to do that because you're going to go into the point where you're going to be overtraining, and you can go into injury if you target your muscles too hard. Okay, so again, initial strength training. This is what this workout is all about. Okay, let's get into set number 2. So same thing, you want to keep your elbows locked in. Come straight up. Nice consistent pace. Make sure to rotate those forearms as well. Really work a little bit of the forearm into the mix as well. Okay. There you go. Nice controlled breathing. So you can see my elbows are locked in the whole time. I'm really keeping those elbows locked into that rib cage. You really feel more in effect. And that bicep is really contracting a little bit heavier than what you usually might do. Okay, so we got 3 more. After a while, you start feeling a little bit of a tension build up. That's a good sign. That means the muscles are working. All right, you want to feel a little bit slight burn. That's important as well because that's how you break down that muscle as you go on. Nicely done, guys. All right, so we've got one more exercise to finish up. So that was our bicep exercise, a little wrist rotation curls. Now we're going to finish up with what I like to call a little bit of overhead extension. So this one right here is pretty straightforward as well. Okay, for some of you who have a little trouble doing this one, okay, you're more welcome to grab some cables, okay, and just kind of just work your way down like this with the cables, okay? If not, then this one right here is also pretty easy to do. Okay, now what I'm just going to show you, with 2 5-pound dumbbells, but you're more than welcome to use one if you're a little bit on the lighter side, or if you don't have a lot of strength in your shoulders to support it, just do 1 dumbbell and it's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're going to come behind the head like this. You want to make sure to keep the elbow straight up to the sky, okay, and you want to come up and extend. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to isolate those triceps, okay, by really, really coming up high. Try to keep those elbows locked in. The shoulders and the arms should be completely still. You're just kind of alternating by going up and down, a little flexion, extension on the elbow. Nice controlled breathing. Exhale on the way up. So you really control that movement. Try to keep your elbows as close to your head as possible to really isolate that as best you can. All right, nice and easy. Control that movement. Beautiful. All right, so that's a nice little overhead extension as well. Okay, a variation of that as well, guys. If you can do it, just come into this position, same position as we did the single arm row, but instead you come in like here. You come here, you're just coming back like this. You're just basically doing an elbow extension and flexion. If you can see, my arm and my shoulder are steady. You're coming all the way back. So you can do anywhere between 10 to 12 of those on each arm. That's another variation if you have a little bit too much pressure on the shoulder on the dumbbell extension. That's totally understandable. Just come down like this. It releases a little bit more tension here, and a little bit, same challenge for the triceps. Okay, so let's get into set number 2. So same thing. Again, you want to come all the way up. Keep those elbows locked. Come down, come straight up. All right, nice and easy, controlled pace. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost there. 8, 9, controlled movement. 10, got a couple more. 11, keep those elbows locked in. Beautiful. Alrighty. Alright guys, so that was our full body workout today, resistance. Again, this was a beginner's workout. I wanted to kind of show you guys, for those of you who are starting off, just working your muscles, to try to see how you can build your muscles, initial muscle strength by doing certain exercises. Okay, this routine right here is a wonderful way to start. I recommend doing it anywhere between 2 to 3 times a week, and then you can work your way up from there. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other videos you want me to post or anything specific, please feel free to shoot me a message, guys. Don't be shy, and stay tuned for the next routine that I'm going to show you as I go on from here. Okay, take care.